Hi everyone, and welcome to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Let's start by having a look at your independent task. Your independent task looks quite long, but there's not a great deal of writing to do. It is just the way it's set out. So the first challenge is to answer questions all about Brazil. Now, in this lesson, we're going to be learning a little bit about Brazil as a country, and then we're going to go in depth into learning about Rio de Janeiro, a city, a very famous and beautiful city in Brazil. For this first challenge, for challenge one, you need to use this document, this PDF. All of the answers are on there. It scrolls down. There are questions about these big issues at the bottom as well. Some of the questions you can see are just simply you answering questions, and some of the questions ask you to use your own thinking skills, your own brain, which I know is everybody's least favourite thing to do, but we must think more deeply and think outside the box. That is what question 4 and 5 is going to do for you there. Now, after that, what you need to do for challenge 2, 3 and 4, at the bottom there are 4 challenges, challenge 2, 3 and 4, you'll need to watch this video presentation. So, welcome to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Your learning objective is I can understand the similarities and differences in the human and physical geography between Rio de Janeiro and London. Welcome to Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is the second largest city in Brazil and is located in the southeast of the country on the Atlantic Ocean coastline. It is famous for its beaches, mountains, and a carnival called the Rio Carnival. From the air. This photo from the air shows the ocean, mountains, trees, beach, high-rise apartments where people live, and boats on the water. Rio is hot and humid for most of the year. The most rainfall, known as the rainy season, happens between January and April. On average, the warmest month is February. On average, the coldest month is August. April is the wettest month, and December is the driest month. Christ the Redeemer. This famous statue of Jesus is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It stands on top of the Corcovado mountain with its arms outstretched. Its right arm stretches towards the south and its left towards the north. Christ the Redeemer is a symbol of peace. The Sugarloaf Mountain. Sugarloaf Mountain is called Pau de Açúcar in Portuguese. My apologies for any Portuguese speakers if I got that wrong. And got its name because it looks like a huge heap of sugar. It sticks out into the Atlantic Ocean and rises 396 meters above the sea. You can ride all the way to the top in a glass-panelled cable car. The Viaduct. This is the Santa Teresa tram crossing a viaduct. The tram is known locally as Bond. The viaduct is a long, high bridge made out of arches. It carries people, boats, or vehicles over a valley. Some historical buildings. This building was built by the Portuguese, who ruled Brazil between the 16th and 19th centuries. Today, Brazil has its own government, but people still speak Portuguese. Brazil is the only country in South America where Portuguese is spoken. Most other countries in South America speak Spanish. the Igreja de Candelaria. This is a magnificent Roman Catholic church. It took over 100 years to build. I wonder if this reminds you of any buildings you might have seen in London. High-rise. Some of Rio's rich residents live in high-rise apartments just like these. They're usually located by the sea and have stunning views from the windows and balconies. The city of Rio has grown over the years as more people move to the cities for work. The city of Rio has a population of 12 million people. The favelas. The favelas are home to millions of poor families in Rio, many of whom have moved from the countryside to find work. We learnt about what draws people from rural to urban areas, from the countryside to cities and towns in our previous learning about the human geography of South America. Life in these favelas can be very noisy and crowded, with very few public services like schools or doctors. Favelas are commonly known as shanty towns, or sometimes referred to as slums. Rooftops. Houses in the favelas are generally made from brick and have corrugated iron roofs with small windows. Space is limited, so they are built very close together and are often very tall. With no gardens and narrow streets, rooftops become important spaces for families to use, just like you can see in this picture. Copacabana. Rio de Janeiro is the largest coastal city in Brazil. Luxury hotels surround the Copacabana beach, which is very popular with tourists as well as local people. Sport. People love playing volleyball and football on the beach. Surfing is also becoming very popular as part of Rio's culture. Rio hosted some of the football matches of the 2014 World Cup, including the final, and was the host city for the 2016 Olympics. I hope you enjoyed that video presentation all about Rio. Now let me explain how that is going to help you with your challenges for this lesson. Challenge 2 is to use the video to jot down 3 human geographical features and 3 physical geographical features of Rio. I will also upload the slides for you to refer to, and if you like, you could post a picture in there as well. Here's challenge 3. For challenge 3, you need to select one of these beautiful pictures. For example, it can be either human or physical geography. You might want to pick, let's say, for example, this picture. What you need to do is copy and paste the picture into the document. Underneath, it is asking you, the table underneath is asking you to do some things related to this picture. So, the first thing it's asking you to do is describe it in detail. 3 sentences, an absolute minimum. You can refer back to the video and any notes that you took during the video to help you do this. What you then need to do is judge the thing that is in the picture, not the picture itself, but the thing that is in the picture. So I'm going to judge this piece of architecture of a Roman Catholic cathedral. I need to say, on this scale, where I think it sits between being beautiful, 1, and ugly, a 6. If I think it's absolutely stunningly beautiful, I might put 1. And I mark that box with an X. If, however, I thought that it's really, really ugly and horrible, I would put my X here. If I thought that it was somewhere in between, maybe it's quite beautiful, but not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, I might put one there. Or, for example, if I thought it was kind of ugly, but not the worst thing in the world, I might put it there. So for this one, I'm going to put mine there because I think it's absolutely beautiful. Now, I need to think, where does it sit on the spectrum, on the line between modern and old? I'd say it looks like a very old building. Not the oldest building, like a medieval castle, but still a very old building. So I'm going to put that there. Now, clean to dirty. Now, I think this looks like a very clean, well-kept area. I can't see any litter or anything like that. So I'm going to say, yeah, this is a really clean place. The next one is, does it look spacious, which means roomy, lots of room around, or does it look cramped? So I'm going to say, well, it looks quite spacious. There aren't many people there, but it does look kind of built up around it. And I can imagine this being a touristy area. Now, I'm going to have to use my imagination here and think, okay, there aren't people here, but I bet lots of people do visit here. So I'm going to say, maybe it's somewhere in the middle between spacious and cramped. I do the same. Does it look quiet and peaceful or loud? Well, it is a cathedral, so it's going to be quite quiet, but also it's going to be touristy as well. So I might put that about there. Does it look safe or unsafe? It's quite hard to say. A cathedral in the middle of a big city might have lots of police protecting it and guards and things like that. So I'm going to use my imagination and say I think it's going to be quite a safe place. And do I think it's interesting or boring? Well, I think it's beautiful to look at, and I find cathedrals fascinating. So I'm going to say here, it's really, really interesting. For the next part of the challenge, what you need to do is find a picture of something from where you live. It can either be a London-related thing, or it can be a more local thing. Bexley-Heath, Welling, Plumstead, Bexley, wherever it is that you live, you could pick something from there. Now, it would be ideal if you picked something that was similar. So, for example, because I have picked here a cathedral, I might want to pick maybe St. Paul's Cathedral in London, or I might want to pick my local church or something like that. Once I've found a picture of it, I paste it in here, and then I complete the same table again for the second picture. I'm not going to go through that all in detail because I hope that you get the idea. And then, last but not least, you are going to write a few sentences about which place you would rather live or visit, and why. So which place do you think is better? Which place do you think is the best? Try and find some good points for both of them, but then, like we always do with a balanced argument, come down on one side of the fence. That needs to be minimum, and that is a bare minimum of 3 sentences. If we were doing this in school, this would be about a page of writing. Now, because the other tasks are going to take quite long, I'm not expecting a full page of writing from you, but we do need you to think, consider those things, because in order to achieve your learning objective, you need to show that you understand the similarities and differences in human and physical geography between the 2 places. So you need to consider the similarities and differences. Now, I would like you to pick one, if you can, that isn't the one that I've spoken about in the video, that isn't the cathedral, because then you're just copying my ideas. However, if that for some reason is the only one you can copy and paste over or something like that, that is absolutely fine. I hope you enjoy this task. I hope it gets your creative and imaginative juices flowing, and over to you.